While no one wants attraction downtime during their trip to Walt Disney World, refurbishments are necessary to keep the rides looking good and safe for all future visitors. Usually there are only a handful of simultaneous closures plus new attractions being built, but right now, that's a different story. Let's dive into those right now. What's up, everybody? It's Nick with Who Dat Travel. Now, we are going to be talking about the 2022 Disney World refurbishment calendar right now, because what is the worst feeling in the world is getting to Disney, wanting to ride one specific ride, and then it's closed. And especially if this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip, well, that would be a devastating thing. So what we're doing here is we're telling you what Disney has listed right now for their times to be down, so you can make sure that you avoid those times and make sure that you can ride the rides that you really want to. If you like this type of video, please give it a huge thumbs up, smash that like button if that's what you're into. It really does help spread my videos with the YouTube algorithm to other people so they can be helped as well. And of course, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when I release new content. It really does help out the channel. So with that being said, let's jump into the 2022 Disney World refurbishment calendar. Now, as most of you know, there is a lot of construction at Walt Disney World right now. Now, albeit it's not nearly as much as even a couple years ago. However, that massively understates the current closures and impact of constructions on visitors to Walt Disney World through this year and even into 2023. At Epcot in particular, the refurbishment list is deceptive, as colossal changes have begun there that aren't fully reflected in the list that we're about to tell you. There are walls up around much of Future World, with two bypasses in place to the left and the right of Spaceship Earth, which lead guests past the center of the park. Those will hopefully shrink in size by summer of 2022, but they won't be gone entirely until probably sometime in 2023. Now, if you're someone that is into the shows and also the acts that wander around Walt Disney World parks that have been previously put on temporary hiatus, there could be good news. A lot of those shows are scheduled to actually be returning sometime in 2022. This includes Fantasmic at Walt Disney World's Disney Hollywood Studios, Finding Nemo, the musical at Animal Kingdom, and even several more. Recently, Walt Disney World announced entertainment returning in 2022. That includes both Fantasmic and also Finding Nemo, as well as the Festival of Fantasy Parade, which is going to be an overhaul 50th anniversary stage show in the Magic Kingdom, and more. Now let's get to what everybody's been waiting for. Here is the current schedule of Walt Disney World refurbishments to the attractions, when the closure is supposed to start, and when the refurbishment will hopefully conclude. This was updated as of January 1st, 2022 by Disney. Let's start with Animal Kingdom. Expedition Everest will be closed from January 4th, 2022 through mid-April of 2022. Now, if you are one of those folks that is hoping and praying that Disco Yeti will be returned to his glory years where he's actually moving in Show A, I have some bad news for you. That is not going to be what is being worked on right now. Right now, it will most likely involve the roller coaster and its systems. Now, some other improvements might be made, but they are not the focus. To be honest, my expectation is that the Yeti will probably never be fixed. If you've listened to Joe Rohde, it will take them basically taking the mountain off, and yeah, I don't see that happening. But at least the ride is still there. So moving on, Finding Nemo the musical should be returning in spring of 2022, and Primeval World. If you wanted to ride that, well, I'm got some really bad news for you. That is permanently closed, and it actually has been demolished. So, all right, sorry folks. Moving on to Magic Kingdom. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is going to be closed February 14th through the 18th, 2022. Enchanted Tales with Belle should be hopefully returning sometime in 2022. The date is to be determined. Festival of Fantasy Parade will be returning in early 2022. Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair returns in early 2022. Splash Mountain will be closed January 10th to February 10th, 2022. Now, this is the newest closure that has been added to the list. However, I think there is a 0% chance that this is for the Princess and the Frog reimagining of Splash Mountain. This closure is simply for routine maintenance, the normal closure that occurs during the winter off-seasons. Disney hasn't offered many updates on Splash Mountain reimagining since announcing it over a year ago, and the few statements the company has made suggest it is in very early development. Unless the project has been quietly accelerated in the last few months, it wouldn't be ready to commence construction in early 2022. In fact, DisneyWorld.com specifically specifies that this closure is for routine maintenance. And last but not least, the Walt Disney World Railroad. Now, that has been closed since the construction of Tron has commenced, and most likely will not be reopened until Tron has its grand opening. So, hopefully, someday soon, we will be able to ride that railroad one more time. Now, I did mention Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair just a little bit earlier. That is a show in front of Cinderella Castle and will incorporate favorite scenes from the previous versions of the show, Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair, and it does have some new sequences, a new opening, and a new finale with Mickey Mouse and all of his friends in their 50th anniversary iridescent fashions. The show will also include an all-new original song entitled Where the Magic Feels Like Home. Moving on to Epcot. Now, really the only thing that we have listed here is Epcot Forever, which has permanently ended and was replaced by the show Harmonious. As we have talked about before, the core of Epcot is still a sea of construction walls, but things have improved with the opening of the Creation Shop and also Club Cool. Next up is the Confections Cafe and Eatery, the fast casual restaurant and Starbucks location that will replace the Electric Umbrella. Once that opens in spring of 2022, there will be a path connecting Spaceship Earth to World Showcase, which will be a welcome relief because the sea of green walls gets a little bit confusing. Now, speaking of Spaceship Earth, it is my expectation that it will at some point go down for a lengthy refurbishment at some point in 2022 or 2023. Nothing has been officially communicated with this, but it may or may not include the previously announced reimagining. Either way, there is considerable work that needs to be done on the ride system, and it can't wait for too much longer. Let's move on to Disney's Hollywood Studios. First, let's talk about Fantasmic, which should return sometime in 2022. After months of stagnation, work is now progressing at the Hollywood Hills Amphitheater, which is home to Fantasmic. It is still unlikely that Fantasmic is returning anytime soon. There still appears to be a decent amount of work to be done, and once that finishes, cast and rehearsals will likely take another couple months. At this point, spring 2022 appears to be the best case scenario. Jedi Training Academy, Trials of the Temple. That has a TBD, likely to be in 2022. The Star Wars Galactic Spectacular, again, to be determined. Star Wars Launch Bay, still to be determined. And Voyage of the Little Mermaid. Well, they have talked about that one, but still to be determined. Let's move on to outside of the theme parks. Now, Disney Skyliner gondolas, which are definitely a ride unto themselves. My little man loves them and requests that we ride them anytime he sees them. While the Riviera to Epcot route will be down from January 23rd to January 28th, 2022. Blizzard Beach Water Park will be closing for annual refurbishments starting January 2 of 2022. Typhoon Lagoon Water Park reopens January 2nd, 2022. The big development here is that after almost 2 years of being closed, Typhoon Lagoon will reopen so that Blizzard Beach can close for its annual refurbishment. In a normal winter, the parks have alternating closures both for the sake of routine maintenance and because of reduced demand. While no reopening date has been set, our expectation is that Blizzard Beach will reopen in mid-March of 2022. That would be consistent with a past precedent and makes sense in terms of the normal weather and spring break demand. The only thing that could throw a monkey wrench into all of this is that the staffing at Walt Disney World will need to be able to hire enough cast members especially the lifeguards, to staff both Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach by then. With the persistent shortages, that's not a sure bet. In addition to scheduled attraction refurbishments, unscheduled downtime can always occur during any visit. This usually only occurs for a couple hours at a time, so if you find an attraction is closed during your vacation and I didn't list it in this video, it's likely that it is a temporary closure that will last at most a couple hours. Unfortunately, some of them could be a couple days, but I would definitely check with a nearby cast member to confirm this. And there you have it, folks, the 2022 Disney World refurbishment calendar. Now, it kind of sounds like there's a lot of them because, well, there kind of are. There is a lot of stuff that hasn't returned that should hopefully be returning here in 2022, and some of the normal refurbishments going on as well. But make sure that you stay tuned to Who Dat Travel, and we will update you with as much as we can and give you those tips that, well, make your vacation a little bit easier. With that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, hit that thumbs up to help spread my videos out to more people, and of course hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. And as always, with that being said, have a great day, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.